Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you tonight with your Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory review on Saturday night, October 24th, 2020. Tonight we had Bound for Glory, and I believe the show had very high expectations. I'm not saying it was a bad show. I thought the show was very solid tonight, and the ending was freaking awesome with Rich Swann becoming the new Impact World Champion, which we will get to at the last match of the show. But for a show that I had really high expectations for, I'm gonna say it did not live up to it. They had their good moments. EC3 versus Moose was very good, and I really enjoyed their cinematic match. The tag team Fatal 4-Way match, in my opinion, was the match of the night. I thought that match was freaking great. And the main event, even though the match was fine, I thought the ending to the show was very good. Everything else on the show felt flat. Now, granted, I did have some cable difficulties where I ordered the show via pay-per-view, and I was not able to catch the first match with the six-way scramble for the X Division Championship, but I did hear that Rohit Raju retained the X Division Championship, and personally, I would have given that championship to Trey Miguel. Now, Trey possibly could take the X Division Championship from Rohit Raju, but I feel like tonight was his night. He's been having a great year so far, and I thought that, you know what, it was time to give him some gold, and a night like tonight at Bound for Glory would have been perfect, but they didn't go with that, so I wasn't able to watch the match, but I got in time for the Call Your Shot Battle Royal, and that's where we are going to start the review. But before we do, if you have not already, make sure you guys go check out my AEW Dynamite review from Wednesday night. The numbers for that were very good. Over 100 views. We're actually at 111 views for the AEW Dynamite review from this past Wednesday. So if you have not already, go check that out. And that is the only video up for this week. Why there were no other videos up for this week, you guys know my situation. I've been tweeting about it on Twitter. I'm not going to get into it tonight. You guys know all about that. If you don't, then go look on my Twitter. But let's start with the Bound for Glory review. I'm going to start off with the Call Your Shot Battle Royal. Now, I wasn't able to watch the entire first match, but I did catch the second half of this. So, as you guys know, I say this every single time there is a Battle Royal match. The worst match stipulation I hate the most is a Battle Royal. It's just really boring and it's lame. You got all these guys in there, and all they do, the most moves they do is a punch or a kick. I just find it super lame, and it's boring, and I really don't get into it that much until about the Final Four or Final Five. This time we had the Final Four of Heath and Rhino, Sami Callihan, and the returning James Storm, who I actually thought was going to win this Battle Royal and go on to challenge Eric Young for the Impact World Championship. Clearly, I was wrong on that. James Storm did not win this match, and then he was eliminated by Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan then eliminated Heath, and the stipulation was if Heath or Rhino did not win, then Rhino would be fired, and Heath would not get a contract with Impact Wrestling. So we're down to the final two, Sami Callihan and Rhino, and they had their singles match because that's how this Battle Royal worked. The final two would have a one-on-one singles match to see who would win. Sami Callihan hit his pile driver 10 seconds into it, and Rhino kicked out, and then Sami turned around. Rhino hit a gore, and Rhino won the Call Your Shot Battle Royal. I didn't really like it. I would have given this one to Sami Callihan. Have Rhino go away for a bit, and then maybe have him and Heath come back in like a couple months or weeks. But they went with the very predictable route. Commentary said that Rhino started the match at number 1, and that he was going to be fired if he didn't win this match. And I was thinking maybe he's not going to get the win because I can't see Rhino challenging for the World Championship at his age. But I guess with Rhino winning the Call Your Shot Battle Royal and Heath getting an official contract with Impact Wrestling, I guess that now maybe they're going to go after the tag team titles. We'll have to see. So we'll have to see what happens with the Impact Tag Team Division in the near future. Then we got into EC3 versus Moose. This match was cinematic. This was a cinematic match at some parking lot with a wrestling ring at the parking lot, with guys wearing free EC3 jackets surrounding the ring. I thought this was very good. I thought the story was really damn great. I thought the story was great, and the cinematic match was really good, and I did enjoy this a lot. So I'm just going to get into some of the big highlights in this match. The fighting, only a few minutes into the match, Moose busted up EC3 pretty bad. So EC3, he has got blood all over his face, and I knew that there was going to be, this was going to be a violent match, and this was going to be a bloody match as well between EC3 and Moose. So, of course, both guys were bleeding during the match. EC3, later on during the match, he cuts a promo saying, like, you're not a real champion. This is a past championship for a past man like you. You're in the past. Worry about the future. And I guess at that point at the match, EC3 was the babyface and Moose was the heel, which I didn't get going into that either. It's like during the build, I don't watch Impact every single week, but I do watch the highlights when I can. But it felt like going into the build, EC3 was the heel and Moose was the babyface. But in this match, it felt like Moose was the heel and EC3 was the babyface. So clearly, I had no idea who I was going to cheer for in this match. I was pulling for EC3 just to see him get his first win away from the WWE and show the world. Sorry, I had to take a quick sip real quick. So, then, after EC3 cuts a promo, he turns around and he takes a spear from Moose. And Moose was like, this is what you wanted. And he starts punching away at EC3. And then EC3 is just ridiculously, he's got blood all down his face. His face is all red. And then Moose is like, is this what you wanted? EC3 is screaming yes. Moose then hits EC3 with the TNA World Championship, and that's the way the match ends. Match ends with Moose hitting the World Championship at EC3. No pinfall. I think it was just a knockout, and Moose won this match. I was very shocked that Moose had won this matchup against EC3, but I don't think EC3 is contract that long with Impact Wrestling, and I actually think he's in a contract with Ring of Honor. I think so. I'll have to look that up later tonight, but I do believe that EC3 did not sign a multi-year deal with Impact, and he did with Ring of Honor. So that might be why he lost, and he might not be with Impact that much longer. Or it could be just a one-off. Who knows? But at the end, I thought this was very good match, a good cinematic match between Moose and EC3, and I thought the story they told was great with EC3 trying to bring that violent dark side out of Moose. So we got that from this match tonight, and that was a big highlight of the show. Then we got Eddie Edwards versus Ken Shamrock. Now this was a big night for Mr. Shamrock as he was inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame. And yes, it was rumored that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was going to be inducting Ken Shamrock into the Hall of Fame. And that was true. Yes, people, we saw Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We saw The Rock on a Impact Wrestling pay-per-view tonight. 2020 is freaking weird. I wonder how Vince McMahon, I wonder how he's going to react when he sees this and he sees The Rock on Impact Wrestling's pay-per-view. He's going to be like, oh, we had plans for him and Roman at WrestleMania, but he wants to show up on another promotion's pay-per-view. Scrap that off, Bruce. Scrap that off. No Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. It could be. I'm just messing around, though. So this is a big night for Shamrock. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He was going up against Eddie Edwards. Match was fine. Hard hitting. It was enjoyable for what it was, but at the end, it's not a standout moment at the show at all, and it kind of felt like a TV match. If this was a match on television on a weekly Impact Wrestling show, I would have said this was great stuff. Hard hitting, very good match. The ending was fine, but I mean, for a pay-per-view match, it kind of felt flat. In my opinion, it felt flat to me, not that eye-opening or great, but the match was fine. It was hard-hitting. At the end, Sami Callihan distracted Eddie Edwards with the lights going out. Then he was in the ring with his baseball bat. Edwards had a kendo stick, and Eddie hit Sami Callihan with the kendo stick. Then Shamrock put Eddie in the ankle lock, and Eddie tapped out. So Shamrock won. I'm not surprised at all that Shamrock won. It was his night. He was going into the Hall of Fame, so it was almost a guarantee that Shamrock was going to win this match. So we go on from that to the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the Impact Tag Team Championships with the North, Ace Austin and Madman Fulton, the Good Brothers, and Motor City Machine Guns. Now, this is a very key part of the match. Motor City Machine Guns get attacked by the North during the entrance. They take out Chris Sabin. Then Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page or Josh Alexander. I'm not sure which one. I think it was Ethan Page, but he's on top of the stage. He has Alex Shelley, and he gives him a pile driver onto the stage, and his head bounced off the stage. Now, I know this was a shoot or a work, but that looked pretty bad. Alex Shelley's head hit the stage, so he got taken out of the match. So Chris Sabin, throughout the entire match, was defending the Impact Tag Team Championships by himself. And Don Callis said it best. It was literally a 6-on-1 match for Chris Sabin to retain the Impact World Tag Team titles. But I thought this was easily the match of the night. This was very good. I actually thought this was a great match. The pacing was perfect. The North, the heels, you had the heels taking out Sabin at the beginning of the match. But the Good Brothers just standing on the ring apron, waiting for their time to come. And then when their time came, they got the tag in. We got Anderson going after Austin. And then we got the two big guys, Gallows and Madman Fulton, and going at it at the end. Gallows clothesline Fulton over the top rope. And then at the end, we see the Good Brothers setting up for Magic Killer on Josh Alexander. Alexander actually reversed it. He took out Carl Anderson. He took out Luke Gallows. Ethan Page hit the tag team title on... he hit it on Carl Anderson. And the North are once again the Impact Tag Team Champions, which I did not expect at all. I was very, very confident that the Good Brothers was going to win the tag team titles here in this match. I actually thought this was the most predictable match on the entire card on this show tonight. This was the most predictable match. I was like, the Good Brothers have to win the tag team titles. There's no other way around it. Motor City Machine Guns, they had their time. They had their good story. Austin and Madman Fulton, I just don't see them winning the tag team titles. I think Ace Austin is better as a singles guy. And the North, they were the tag team champions for over a year. So I don't see why they would win the tag team titles again. But here we are with the North winning the Impact Tag Team Championships here tonight. So I'm expecting a rematch between them and Motor City Machine Guns in the near future, with the Motor City Machine Guns winning back the titles, or we just get a straight up tag team match between the North and the Good Brothers, which I would not mind. I would not mind that at all. I consider that a dream match. Then we got this was horrible. I'm sorry. This was bad. We were supposed to get Deonna Purrazzo versus Kylie Ray, but Kylie Ray did not show up during her entrance music. Then Deonna made an open challenge, and out came Su Yung, a.k.a. Susie. Susie bringing her inner demon as Su Yung. Now, I did not watch Victory Road, but I kept up with what was going on. Deonna Purrazzo supposedly broke the arm of Susie, and she brought out the demon, I guess you could say, in Su Yung. Now, Impact tonight, they pulled a WWE on us. There were many people there were many people who were very excited to see Deonna Purrazzo versus Kylie Ray tonight. And we built this match up for 2 months on Impact Television. And we get to the pay-per-view, and the match doesn't happen. Now, I don't know what happened with Kylie Ray, but whatever happened, I send my thoughts and prayers to her. Hopefully everything's okay. But if Impact Wrestling knew that Kylie Ray was not going to be able to work this show, why didn't you make an announcement before the show went off the air and said Kylie Ray is not going to be able to compete tonight? Therefore, Deonna Purrazzo is issuing an open challenge. You could have just went with that route. And the match itself, the match was okay, but I thought the finish was so overbooked. I hated the finish. So, you got Su Yung with her gloves on Deonna's face. Deonna got her way, and she accidentally kicked the referee. So, you got Deonna hitting a armbar on Su Yung. She pulls the other arm back, and Su Yung puts her hand in Deonna's mouth. Kind of like the mandible claw in a way. But she gets out of it. Then she hits what looked to be, I don't even remember what she hit it with. But Su Yung won the Impact World Knockouts Championship. So Su Yung answers the open challenge and wins the Knockout Championship. I'm not a fan of that at all. I thought Deonna should have had a much longer reign as the Knockouts champion. And she was putting on very good matches with Jordynne Grace, and she was telling a good story with Kylie Ray. She had more gas in the tank with that Knockouts championship, and I felt like Impact pulled that away from her in a sense. So I guess we're gonna get Su Yung versus Kylie Ray for the Knockouts Championship. I'm not really sure how this goes. I'm not sure what's gonna go, but I'm not happy that Deonna lost tonight at all. Now, they did announce that we are gonna crown Knockouts Tag Team Champions at the next pay-per-view, Hard to Kill, on January 16th. If I had to pick a candidate to become the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, I am betting my money on Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly. I don't think Deonna is too good not to put her in anything. And she just signed, on top of all of this, by the way, there was a report on Thursday when Impact did their Bound for Glory conference call that Deonna signed a multi-year deal with Impact Wrestling, and yet she lost, which I'm very shocked by. I did not expect this at all to happen whatsoever, but here we are. Su Yung is the new Knockouts champion. And then we got the main event, which I was very excited for and very much looking forward to. We had Rich Swann versus Eric Young. Now, I was thinking this match was going to be very good, but the match was slow in the beginning. It went too long in a sense. I thought the match went a little bit too long, but the match picked up at the end. It got fine, But my problems with this match was the match was too long, and the beginning was very, very slow. Very slow. Like, I get it in the match that you can't go fast every time during the match. You have to have a good pacing. This match, the pacing was okay, but for my liking, this beginning of the match was very, very slow. But in fact, got very good at the end. So Rich Swann was making his comeback. Then Eric Young went for the pile driver. Swann reversed it into a drop kick. And then at the end, this was a great ending. Swann hit a cutter to Eric Young. He hit a springboard cutter. He went on the top rope. He hit, I believe there was a Phoenix Splash on Eric Young. And my goodness, I thought Eric Young was going to retain tonight. I was wrong on a lot of picks. Rich Swann, folks, is the new Impact World Champion. He got the locker room coming out, led by Eddie Edwards, and they are all consoling and congratulating Rich Swann, and they end the show with Rich Swann holding the Impact World Championship over the babyface's shoulders. So I thought that was a very good ending to a decent pay-per-view tonight. Again, I had very high expectations for this show. I'm not saying it was bad. I enjoyed myself. I didn't watch the first match, but for what I saw tonight, I enjoyed myself tonight. It was a decent pay-per-view overall. If I had to rate it out of a 10, I would probably give it a 6.5, 6. I would probably give it a 6.5 at the most. But, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the Impact Bound for Glory review here tonight on the channel. I want to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into the review. Subscribe to the channel. We got new subscribers here to the channel. We are at 232 subscribers. Again, the new goal is to hit 250 subscribers before Full Gear in 2 weeks. So if we could get to 250 before Full Gear, I would appreciate that. And then make sure you comment down below what you guys thought of tonight's Bound for Glory pay-per-view. Like this video if you like what I had to say about the pay-per-view. And follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. And I will see you guys tomorrow night back on the channel for your Hell in a Cell review. Have a good night. Stay safe.